Still tuned into First Trades. I just want to take a look at the markets. 9,820. So clearly we've gotten off on the back foot and we're continuing to linger here. Names like from the banking sphere: IndusInd Bank, Axis, ICICI Bank, HDFC, Kotak Bank, they're all looking quite tempered in today's trading session. You've got SBI added to that list, NTPC, Titan and Hero Moto as well in the red. But Hindalco, that's a stock that we're focusing on the back of earnings. We've got Mr. Satish Pai, the Managing Director, joining in. Thank you for taking time out. Let's start off by talking about the impact of COVID-19. What has been the capacity that Hindalco has been operating at? Have you ramped it up now, particularly for aluminium and copper?
The first thing, Ubina, is to say that majority of the Hindalco operations ran right through the lockdown because we are a continuous process industry and the government gave us the exemption to run. Now, we had to do a lot of planning and we started that early February. And hence the 4 smelters, the Utkal refinery, we have been running them all through the crisis. So it's the Dahej copper smelter as well as some of the smaller downstream plants we had to shut down during the lockdown, but they also have restarted now. So I think the lesson that we learned from all of this is that you need to be having your emergency response plans in place. You need to prepare well in advance. You need to have your inventories and your raw materials planning done properly. And then you can run your operations through crisis. So I think that this is probably the sum total of the COVID that you have learned, that it's all about planning and it's all about having your people ready for these type of exigencies that can come.
Right. Getting a move on aluminium prices as well. They've tanked to about $1450. And you have hedged positions, and there was also that factor of the rupee depreciation. So taking all of this into account, what is your average realization? Have you used any hedging gains that the company has managed to realize?
I can't give you the exact numbers that we sold at, but what I can tell you is that at 1,039 crores aluminium EBITDA, we were 3% higher than the Q4 of FY19, where the LME was, closer to 2,000, whereas it was about 1,690 years. So what that tells you is that, as you said, our cost of production was probably one of the lowest. So we had some good tailwinds from coal prices being down, input costs being down, and also we had some good hedging positions. So both of those combined gave us a very good EBITDA, which was 3% higher than Q4 of FY19. Now, this could have been even better, but the second half of March, we lost some sales when the lockdown happened. Normally, the last few weeks of a quarter and a year-ending quarter, our sales are probably the highest. So both aluminium and copper lost out in 2 weeks of sales in the March second half. Otherwise, I think our Q4 numbers would have been even better than what you have seen in our results.
It's Karunya as well joining in. Could you tell us what capacity did the Muri plant operate in at during Q4, and how did it aid in integrating your operations and also bringing down costs? Going forward, how much will utilization increase in Q1 and Q2? If you could shed some light on that as well.
As you said, in the last quarter when we discussed, Muri was just ramping up again. So in Q4, Muri ran at 80% capacity. So it certainly helped because, the previous quarters, our cost, because we had to import some alumina, it was a drag on our results. So in Q4, Muri was operating at 80% capacity, and hence it certainly helped our integrated cost of aluminium production. You are right to say that in April we had to shut it down again, but we have now in the first week of June restarted Muri as well again. So we are hoping that Muri will then come back to its capacity by the end of this month. So Muri is running fine again after the lockdown.
60 to 65% of your coal requirement is via captive sources. So, how much can it go up to, if you could tell us that, and how will it contribute in bringing down your costs further?
See, 60% of our coal actually comes from Coal India. And Coal India in Q4, the availability of coal and the pricing of coal was very good for us. And in the COVID times, the coal ministry has taken some very proactive steps. They have reduced the premium that was charged on captive coal users compared to the IPPs. They have allowed flexibility in changing between road and rail. So the amount of coal availability as well as the auction prices of coal have moderated down. So even in Q1, we are going to see a lot of benefit of those coal prices going forward. I think we really have to thank the coal ministry for that.
And what's your view on the recent mining reforms that were introduced, especially the ones relating to joint auction of bauxite and coal blocks? How would Hindalco be interested in that? Can you tell us?
See, I think overall, in the last few months, the Ministry of Mines and the Ministry of Coal, which is, by the way, under the same minister, Prahlad Joshi, has done an amazing job in coming out with reforms. And I think that, we are very much interested in the commercial coal block auctions that will happen. We are so happy that there is the differentiation between captive mines and non-captive mines has been taken away. So that it's, all coal mines are now in some ways, you can use it for yourself, you can sell it to third party, the government just wants a revenue share. I think this is very positive for the mining industry. The fact that you can have an exploration to PL to ML type of licenses, all this, the mining industry has been asking for a long time. So we are extremely happy. Now, coal and bauxite being auctioned together, fantastic. I think we will be very interested. I think it will take them some time to get that package ready. I think the immediate auctions are going to be of coal blocks that we are going to participate in. So overall, I think a great set of reforms, and we urge the government to very quickly action all that they have announced. And we from the industry are ready to participate in the auctions that are going to come.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Pai. It was a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you so much for joining in. With that, we're out of time on the show. Thank you so much for watching.